Chosen one, lean in. There are moments in life when a message doesn't just appear, it arrives. It finds you, seeks you, calls your name in a way nothing else does. And if your heart feels a strange stirring right now, a quiet trembling in the spirit, it's because this is one of those moments. You didn't stumble here, you were led here. Heaven has been watching you walk through shadows you never deserved, betrayals you never expected, and storms that should have broken you. But somehow they didn't. Somehow you're still standing. And there's a reason, because chosen one, the very same people who wounded you, doubted you, dismissed you, and whispered against you, will one day need you. Not because you seek revenge, not because you hunger for validation, but because your path has always been different. Your glow up is not about revenge, it's about alignment. It's about destiny pulling you into a version of yourself they never believed you'd reach. You have walked through a quiet investigation of the soul, questioning your worth, questioning why certain people turned cold, questioning why you kept giving light to those who only met you with shadow. But what you didn't see, chosen one, was the unseen hand guiding every moment. The isolation, the rejection, the disrespect, the loneliness. All of it was shaping you into someone they cannot ignore when heaven finally lifts the curtain. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, and comment, "I received this," if your spirit is already responding. Because this message is about to speak directly to you. You've been misunderstood not because you were small, but because your spirit was too big for the spaces you were placed in. People reacted to you out of fear, ignorance, insecurity, never truth. They saw your potential before you did. They sensed your calling long before you embraced it. And instead of honoring it, they ran from it or tried to dim it. But destiny is patient, purpose is persistent, and heaven is precise. The time is approaching when your elevation will force those who mishandled you to confront what they overlooked. Not in shame, but in realization. They will see who you were all along. So breathe, chosen one. Let your spirit settle into this moment, because the truth you're about to hear, the one hidden beneath years of silent battles, is ready to rise. The ones who doubted you will witness your rise, and what comes next will reveal why heaven allowed every wound, every delay, and every tear. Chosen one, let's go deeper into this. The law of spiritual return is one of the most mysterious, gentle, and powerful forces working in your life. Even when you don't see it, even when you don't feel it, and even when you're convinced that the pain you endured was forgotten by the world. But chosen one, nothing you have ever given, nothing you have ever endured, and nothing you have ever survived disappears into silence. Everything circles back. Everything completes its cycle. Everything returns to its source. There were people who walked away from you without explanation, people who spoke against you without cause, people who took from you without gratitude. You remember the heaviness of those moments, don't you? You remember the confusion, the sting, the quiet nights where you wondered why your kindness was met with coldness, why your loyalty was met with betrayal, why your heart was met with indifference. But chosen one, what if I told you that none of it was wasted? What if I told you that every action, theirs and yours, entered a spiritual orbit that would one day return, not to harm you, but to reveal truth? That is the beauty of divine balance. The law of spiritual return does not punish, nor does it seek revenge. Instead, it illuminates, it reveals, it brings understanding to places where you were once left in the dark. Those who dismissed your worth will eventually hear the echo of their own actions. They will feel the weight of what they overlooked, not because you demanded it, but because your growth, your spirit, and your elevation will bring them face to face with their choices. Have you ever noticed how truth has a way of rising, even after years of being buried? How integrity shines brighter after being ignored? How goodness becomes undeniable when time reveals everything? Chosen one, the energy you gave, the love, the patience, the generosity, the light, all of it returns to you multiplied. You may not receive it from the same people, but heaven will ensure you receive it in ways that bless you far more than what you lost. And at the same time, those who mistreated you will confront the lessons their own energy created. They will come to understand that you were not fragile, you were sacred, you were not weak, you were chosen, you were not replaceable, you were divine timing in human form. So let me ask you, does some part of your spirit already feel the shift? Do you sense that life is circling back in your favor? Do you feel that the things once taken from you are preparing to return in a greater form? Because chosen one, that is how the law of spiritual return works. Slowly, silently, but always with perfect precision. And when the cycle completes, when your blessings rise and your purpose unfolds, they will finally understand why you were different from the very beginning. Chosen one. There is a moment in every soul's journey when your growth becomes louder than your words, stronger than your past, and brighter than the version of you people became comfortable with. This is where the shift begins. This is where your transformation stops being something internal and starts becoming something that others cannot ignore. And whether you realize it or not, your evolution has already been revealing people around you, not through conflict, not through confrontation, but simply through contrast. Because chosen one, when you rise, everything connected to you becomes visible in a new light. Have you noticed how certain people change when you started healing? How their tone shifted when you no longer entertained the same chaos? How their energy tightened when you stopped doubting yourself? This is not your imagination. This is spiritual exposure. Your growth acts like a mirror, a gentle yet undeniable reflection of who everyone truly is when they can no longer hide behind your old wounds. When you were unsure of yourself, their superiority felt comfortable. When you were broken, their judgment came easily. But when you started rising, not loudly but quietly, it unsettled the parts of them they never intended to confront. Chosen one, your elevation introduces you to a strange truth. Not everyone wanted you defeated, but not everyone wanted you strong either. Some people were attached to the version of you that made them feel safe, powerful, or needed. The moment you outgrew that version, their hidden emotions surfaced. Jealousy that was once silent became visible. Fear that was once disguised as advice became exposed. Avoidance that was once subtle became obvious. And resentment that was once buried began to rise to the surface. Why? Because your growth threatens what they refuse to grow through. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how someone becomes distant the moment you start improving your life? How they suddenly withdraw when you set boundaries? How they become uncomfortable when you choose peace over conflict? That discomfort has nothing to do with your intentions. It's a reaction to their own stagnation. They see you stepping into self-respect, clarity, purpose, and spiritual alignment, and it forces them to acknowledge what they have avoided in themselves. Your healing highlights their unhealed parts. Your confidence exposes their insecurity. Your clarity reveals their confusion. And your light, chosen one, uncovers the shadows they tried to keep hidden. Understand this. Your growth is not an attack. It is an awakening. When your spirit expands, it shifts the atmosphere around you. People who were aligned with your old identity may fall away, not because you rejected them, but because your elevation no longer matches the vibration they choose to stay in. You are not losing people. You are revealing them. You are not pushing people away. You are rising beyond what keeps them comfortable. And sometimes the greatest clarity comes not from what people say, but from how they respond to your transformation. Chosen one, your light speaks without a single word. It tells the truth others tried to outrun. And as you continue to grow, evolve, and step into the fullness of who you are, the people who misunderstood you will finally see the difference between who you were and who you were always destined to become. Chosen one. Take a breath, because this part of your journey is sacred. The story of how pain strengthened your character is not a chapter of defeat, but a chapter of divine craftsmanship. It is the place where heaven shaped you quietly, slowly, deeply, while the world assumed you were merely hurting. Pain was not your enemy, it was your sculptor. And every strike, every tear, every silent night became part of the design heaven was carving into your spirit. There were moments when you felt abandoned, weren't there? Moments when you wondered why you were carrying battles no one else could see or understand. But chosen one, what if those battles were the very furnace that forged the strength you walk with now? Look at how far you have come. Can you see how the betrayal sharpened your intuition? How the rejections protected your path? How the loneliness purified your discernment? Pain didn't just touch your life, it transformed it. It deepened your heart, widened your compassion, and awakened a wisdom most people spend lifetimes searching for. Let me ask you something. Chosen one, have you noticed how you now sense things before they happen? How your spirit feels shifts in people before they speak? How you can see through intentions, masks, and energies with a clarity that surprises even you? This is not accidental. Pain trained your perception. When you had no choice but to navigate heartbreak, uncertainty, and disappointment, your discernment grew roots. Deep, spiritual, unshakable roots. You learned not just to hear people, but to understand them. Not just to see situations, but to read them. That's strength disguised as sensitivity. And what about your heart? Look at how soft it still is, despite everything you endured. The loneliness you once resented softened you, humbled you, and anchored you in empathy. You didn't become cold. You became compassionate. You didn't become bitter. You became wise. Your ability to feel deeply without being destroyed by those feelings is proof of how much you've grown. Doesn't it amaze you how you now move with quiet strength instead of loud fear? How you extend love with boundaries instead of desperation? How you stand firm even when no one stands with you? Chosen one, the character you carry today, the resilience, the self-awareness, the spiritual maturity, was not built during the easy seasons. It was built when you were forced to rise with no applause, to heal without guidance, and to believe without evidence. Every painful season gave you something: courage, humility, patience, vision, discernment, depth. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was preparing you to handle your calling, preparing you to step into levels your old self could not sustain, preparing you to move with grace where others move with fear. So ask yourself, without those painful chapters, would you be this strong, this intuitive, this grounded, this spiritually awake? You didn't just survive pain, you mastered it. You turned it into understanding, into self-respect, into purpose. And now, chosen one, you stand as proof that what was meant to break you only built you into someone the world cannot shake. Your pain shaped your character, but your character will shape your destiny. And heaven knew exactly what it was doing. Chosen one, there is a sacred turning point in every spiritual journey, a moment when the atmosphere around your life shifts in ways you can't always explain, but can undeniably feel. This is the moment when the tables begin to turn. It doesn't happen with noise, drama, or grand announcements. It begins quietly, almost imperceptibly, the way dawn breaks before the world realizes light has touched the sky. And chosen one, if you listen closely, you may already feel that shift happening inside you, around you, and through you. There was a time when everything felt heavy, wasn't there? When every step you took felt resisted, every effort unnoticed, every prayer unanswered. You carried hurt, confusion, and exhaustion, wondering why life seemed tilted against you. But chosen one, what if those delays were never denial? What if heaven was merely positioning you in silence so that when the tables turned, nothing and no one could interfere with what belonged to you? Let me ask you, have you felt lately that something is aligning, even if you can't see the full picture yet? Because this is where the shift begins. Spiritual gravity changes its pull. What once dragged you down begins to release its grip. What once clouded your vision begins to clear. Suddenly, opportunities you never expected start appearing. People who never noticed your value begin to see you differently. Doors that were closed without explanation begin to open with ease. And chosen one, this isn't luck, it's alignment. It's divine timing revealing what was hidden behind the seasons of struggle. When the tables turn, the past becomes revelation. The moments where you were overlooked become proof of your resilience. The prayers you thought were unanswered come back as blessings exceeding what you imagined. And the people who once spoke against you, not always out of malice, sometimes out of their own fear or insecurity, begin to feel the weight of their own words, not because you wish them harm, but because truth naturally returns to its source. Doesn't it amaze you how reality eventually exposes intention? Chosen one, when the tables turn, you won't need to raise your voice or defend your name. You won't need to prove your worth or remind anyone of what they did. Your growth will speak for you. Your elevation will speak for you. Your healing will speak for you. And your peace, that quiet, powerful peace that comes from surviving what tried to break you, will speak louder than any explanation you could ever give. This turning of tables is spiritual, not vengeful. It is heaven's way of putting everything in its rightful place. What was delayed becomes aligned. What was lost becomes restored. What was overlooked becomes undeniable. And chosen one, you, become everything they never expected, everything they couldn't see, everything heaven always knew you were becoming. So ask yourself, are you ready for the shift? Are you prepared to walk into rooms that once ignored you, now prepared for you? Are you ready to receive blessings that once felt out of reach? Because the tables aren't just turning, they are turning in your favor. And when they do, your spirit will rise, your path will clear, and your purpose will finally reveal its full brilliance. Chosen one. There comes a time in every spiritual journey when the light within you can no longer be dimmed, hidden, or ignored. A time when your rise stops being a quiet potential and becomes a living reality. This is the season where your elevation becomes undeniable, where everything you once prayed for, cried for, fought for, and waited for begins to manifest in ways even you didn't fully expect. Not because you forced anything, but because heaven has decided it is your time. Think about how long you have been growing in silence. How long you have been healing wounds no one apologized for. How long you have been rebuilding yourself after storms that would have destroyed someone without your resilience. Your glow didn't come from ease, it came from endurance. Your confidence didn't come from praise. It came from surviving seasons where you had no one but yourself. And your wisdom, chosen one, that wisdom came from nights where you had to sit with truths most people spend their lives avoiding. Tell me, have you noticed how different you feel lately? How your spirit stands taller even when you aren't trying? How peace now replaces the panic you once carried? This rise of yours is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is not about proving anything to anyone. True elevation is steady, graceful, and divinely timed. It unfolds like sunrise, slow enough to be gentle, yet bright enough to become impossible to ignore. And when your light reaches that moment of full visibility, even the people who once doubted you will feel it. They may not say it aloud, but they will sense the shift. Their spirit will whisper what their pride won't admit. I should have treated them better. Chosen one, your rise is not meant to embarrass anyone. It is meant to reveal you. The you that was always there beneath the pain. The you that was forming beneath the pressure. The you heaven saw long before anyone else recognized your worth. This is why your elevation doesn't come rushed. It comes refined. You're not rising as the person you used to be. You're rising as the version of yourself that has been spiritually sculpted for this exact moment. Let me ask you something. Have you felt a strange confidence blooming within you lately? A sense that something powerful is aligning, even if you can't explain it? That's not imagination. That's spiritual momentum. That's heaven preparing the world to see what it has been shaping in private. Your healing is becoming noticeable. Your maturity is becoming visible. Your presence feels different. Your energy feels stronger. This is what happens when purpose starts waking up inside you. And chosen one, when your rise becomes undeniable, doors that once remained shut will open with ease. Opportunities that were withheld will seek you out. People who overlooked you will find themselves watching in awe, not because you need their validation, but because your journey will become living proof of divine timing. So breathe, chosen one. Stand tall, move with intention. Your rise has already begun, and nothing, not doubt, not fear, not the opinions of others, can interfere with what heaven has ordained. The world is about to see what heaven already knows. You were never ordinary. You were becoming extraordinary. Chosen one, this part of your journey requires a different kind of maturity, a different kind of spiritual grounding, a different kind of calm power. Because when the people who hurt you begin to return, and they will return, it won't happen randomly. It won't happen because they suddenly became healed or self-aware overnight. It will happen because your growth awakened something in them. Your elevation rattled the parts of them they tried to suppress. Your light stirred the guilt, longing, confusion, or curiosity they buried when they walked away. And now, drawn by what you've become, they find themselves circling back toward the very soul they once underestimated. But chosen one, this return is not a compliment. It is a test of your growth, a test of your boundaries, a test of your discernment. The universe is not asking you to reopen every door that knocks. It is asking you to recognize why the door was closed in the first place. And let me ask you gently, do you sometimes feel torn between your compassion and your self-respect? Between your forgiving nature and your fear of repeating old wounds? Between wanting to be kind and wanting to protect your peace? These inner tensions are not weaknesses. They are signs of growth. Signs that you no longer move unconsciously. Signs that your spirit has matured. Some people will return seeking forgiveness, hoping you will heal the guilt they carry. Others will return seeking comfort, hoping you will soothe the parts of them they still refuse to confront. And some will return simply because your glow has exposed the emptiness they tried to replace you with. But chosen one, your task is not to judge them. Your task is to discern them. Your heart can remain soft, but your boundaries must remain strong. Your soul can remain peaceful, but your wisdom must stay awake. Think of it this way. Kindness is your nature, but access is your choice. You can offer closure without offering a second chance. You can offer compassion without offering your heart. You can offer peace without offering your future. Because not everyone who returns deserves a seat at the new table your elevation is preparing. Some people were meant to awaken you, not accompany you. Some were meant to teach you, not to stay with you. And some were meant to be chapters, not the entire story. Chosen one, the key is this. Do not let bitterness speak, but do not let naivety lead. You have healed too much, grown too far, and risen too high to allow old wounds to reopen under the disguise of familiarity. When returning energies appear, pause. Listen to your intuition, feel the atmosphere. Ask yourself, does this return bring peace or disturbance? Clarity or confusion? Growth or repetition? Because your spirit knows, it always knows. Handle these returns with grace, but protect your destiny with strength. You're entering a season of rising, alignment, and divine clarity. And not everyone is meant to walk with you into this next level. Love them, release them, bless them, but don't carry them if they were only meant to be lessons, not destinies. Chosen one, you honor your growth not by who you let back in, but by who you choose to move forward with. The future calling your name deserves nothing less than your highest wisdom. Chosen one, as we come to the close of this message, pause for a moment and feel the weight of what has been spoken. Everything you have endured, every wound, every betrayal, every moment of doubt, it was never wasted. Heaven has been orchestrating your journey quietly, preparing you for a rise that cannot be denied, a destiny that cannot be ignored. And now all the pieces are moving into place. Your growth, your healing, your wisdom, they are becoming visible, undeniable, unstoppable. Take a deep breath and feel the truth in your spirit. Those who doubted you, those who hurt you, and those who overlooked you, they will eventually recognize the force of what you were always meant to become. Not to humiliate them, not to seek revenge, but to reveal the fullness of your calling and the strength that was always yours. Chosen one, this is your moment to step into alignment, to honor the lessons and to rise with clarity, grace, and divine purpose. And before we part, let this be more than words. Let it be a movement within you. Stand tall, move with intention, and protect your energy. Allow your light to shine without apology, and let the universe continue its perfect orchestration. The story is not over. It is just beginning, and your rise will inspire those who once doubted while lifting you higher than you ever imagined. So, chosen one, go forward knowing this. You are aligned, you are destined, and nothing can stop the unfolding of your divine path. Embrace it fully, move with wisdom, and let the world witness the undeniable power of your soul. And as you step into this next season, take a moment, comment, "I received this," if your spirit is ready, and feel the shift that has already begun within you. Your rise has been divinely timed. Your destiny is calling.